If grocery stores shut down for a week, how long would your food last? Most families depend on deliveries they never see and systems they don't control. But here's the truth. In almost every state across America, a simple backyard can grow a serious amount of food with surprisingly little effort. You don't need a tractor. You don't need 10 acres. You don't need to quit your job. You just need the right crops. In this video, I'm sharing 10 crops every American should grow in 2026. These are low maintenance, high yield, and adaptable across multiple USDA zones. If you want more control over your food, lower grocery bills, and a practical path toward independence, this is where you start. Let's begin with potatoes. If you grow nothing else, grow potatoes. They are one of the highest calorie crops you can produce in a small space. You can grow them in raised beds, 5-gallon buckets, grow bags, or directly in the ground. They perform well in USDA zones 3 through 10, which covers almost the entire country. 1 pound of seed potatoes can easily produce 8 to 10 pounds at harvest, sometimes more. They don't require constant care. Hill them once or twice, keep them watered, and they do the rest. After harvest, they store for months in a cool, dark space. That makes them powerful for food security. When grocery prices rise, potatoes become one of the smartest crops you can have in your backyard. Next are green beans. Bush beans are perfect for beginners because they germinate quickly and begin producing in about 2 months. Pole beans take slightly longer but produce heavily over a longer period if you give them a simple trellis. Beans grow in zones 3 through 10 and thrive in warm American summers. One of their biggest advantages is that they fix nitrogen in the soil, which improves your garden naturally. That means less need for fertilizer. You can eat them fresh, freeze them, can them, or let them dry on the vine for long-term storage. They are productive, practical, and extremely reliable. Now let's talk about zucchini. There's a reason experienced gardeners joke about having too much zucchini. One healthy plant can produce 6 to 10 pounds or more in a single season. It grows fast, spreads wide leaves that shade out weeds, and performs well in zones 4 through 9. In warmer southern states like Texas, Georgia, and parts of California, you can even grow multiple rounds in 1 year. Zucchini requires basic compost and consistent watering, but it does not demand constant attention. You can grill it, bake it, saute it, shred it into bread, or freeze it for later. When it comes to effort versus reward, zucchini is one of the most efficient crops you can grow. These first 3 crops alone can dramatically cut your grocery bill, but we're only getting started. The next crops include one that comes back year after year without replanting and another that gives you a powerful source of protein straight from your garden. If you're serious about building real food resilience in 2026, this list only gets better from here. Tomatoes are next, and for many Americans, they are the gateway into gardening. But we are not talking about growing 1 or 2 plants for fun. We are talking about growing enough to make a real difference in your kitchen. Tomatoes grow in USDA zones 3 through 10, making them suitable for almost the entire country during the warm season. Determinate varieties produce heavily all at once, which is perfect for making sauce and canning. Indeterminate varieties produce continuously until frost, giving you fresh tomatoes for months. A few healthy plants can provide dozens of pounds in a season. They grow well in raised beds, containers, or directly in the ground. With basic support like a cage or stake, regular watering, and compost, tomatoes reward you generously. Fresh salsa, pasta sauce, canned tomatoes for winter, even sun-dried slices. Store-bought tomatoes rarely compare to homegrown flavor. And when prices spike, having your own supply changes everything. The 5th crop every American should grow is garlic. Garlic is planted once in the fall and harvested in early summer. It grows in zones 3 through 9, and in warmer southern regions it still performs well with proper timing. You break apart a bulb into individual cloves, plant them a few inches deep, and let winter do the work. By the following year, each clove becomes a full bulb. Garlic requires very little maintenance. It suppresses weeds naturally and even helps deter some pests in the garden. After harvesting, you cure it in a dry, shaded space for a few weeks, and it can store for 6 months or more. Garlic is used in almost every savory meal. Growing your own ensures a steady supply of a kitchen essential while saving money over time. Now let's talk about sweet potatoes. If regular potatoes are powerful, sweet potatoes are equally impressive, especially in warmer states. They thrive in zones 5 through 10 and love heat, making them perfect for southern regions like Texas, Florida, and the Carolinas. Sweet potatoes are grown from slips rather than seed pieces, and once established, they spread across the soil, acting like a living mulch. They tolerate heat well and require less attention once vines take off. At harvest, you often uncover a surprising amount of food beneath each plant. Like regular potatoes, they store well when cured properly. They are calorie-dense, rich in nutrients, and extremely versatile in the kitchen. Baked, mashed, roasted, or added to soups, sweet potatoes are a dependable staple crop for American backyards. At this point, you already have 6 crops that can cover calories, vegetables, flavor, and storage, but we are not done yet. The final 4 include a long-term perennial that keeps producing for years and a crop that provides serious plant-based protein with minimal effort. If you are building a backyard system that works year after year. Now let's move into crops that give you long-term value with even less effort over time. The 7th crop every American should grow in 2026 is asparagus. This one requires patience at the beginning, but once established, it produces for 15 to 20 years or more. Asparagus grows well in USDA zones 3 through 8 and prefers a sunny, well-drained location. You plant crowns once, wait a season or 2 before heavy harvesting, and after that, each spring it sends up fresh spears automatically. No replanting every year, no constant reseeding, just a dependable perennial harvest. As food prices rise, having a vegetable that comes back on its own every year is a powerful advantage. It is one of the clearest examples of low-input living because most of the work happens up front, and the rewards continue long-term. The 8th crop is kale. Kale is one of the most cold-hardy greens you can grow in America. It thrives in zones 3 through 10 and can survive frost, and in many southern states it grows through winter. In northern regions, it can handle light snow and actually tastes sweeter after frost exposure. Kale produces continuously. Instead of harvesting the whole plant, you pick the outer leaves and let the center keep growing. That means one planting can provide food for months. It does not require heavy fertilizing and it tolerates a wide range of soil conditions. You can use it fresh in salads, saute it, blend it into smoothies, or bake it into chips. For nutrition per square foot, kale is one of the most efficient crops available. It keeps producing when many other plants are done for the season, extending your harvest window significantly. The 9th crop is winter squash. This includes varieties like butternut, acorn, and spaghetti squash. Winter squash grows in zones 3 through 10 during the warm season and produces calorie-dense food that stores for months without refrigeration. The vines spread and cover large areas which helps suppress weeds naturally. One healthy plant can produce multiple large squash, and once cured properly, they can sit on a shelf for 3 to 6 months or longer. That means you harvest in late summer or fall and continue eating from your garden deep into winter. When building food resilience, storage crops are critical. Winter squash provides carbohydrates, fiber, and versatility in cooking. Roasted, mashed, added to soups, or baked, it becomes a reliable staple during colder months. By now, you have a mix of annuals and perennials, quick producers, and long storage crops. But there is one final crop that might surprise you because it does not look like traditional garden food at first glance. Yet it delivers serious protein and long-term value. The 10th crop every American should grow in 2026 is dry beans, especially varieties like pinto beans, black beans, and kidney beans. Unlike green beans that you harvest fresh, dry beans are left on the plant until the pods fully mature and dry. Inside each pod are shelf-stable protein-packed beans that can last for years when stored properly. Dry beans grow in USDA zones 3 through 10 during the warm season and require very little maintenance once established. They tolerate heat, they improve the soil by fixing nitrogen, and they provide one of the cheapest sources of plant-based protein you can produce at home. A small patch can yield several pounds of dried beans, and those pounds translate into dozens of meals. When grocery prices rise, protein is often one of the most expensive categories. Growing your own dry beans directly reduces that dependency. Now step back and look at the full picture. Potatoes and sweet potatoes give you calories. Green beans and dry beans give you fresh eating and long-term protein. Tomatoes and zucchini provide heavy summer production. Garlic adds flavor and stores for months. Kale extends your harvest into cold weather. Winter squash fills your shelves for winter. Asparagus comes back year after year with almost no effort once established. This combination covers calories, nutrients, flavor, and storage across multiple seasons. You do not need to plant all 10 at once. Start with 3 or 4 that match your climate and space. Focus on crops that grow well in your USDA zone. Build soil with compost. Keep watering simple and consistent. Add 1 or 2 new crops each season. Over time, your backyard becomes more productive without becoming more complicated. That is the core of low-input living. Less dependency, less waste, more control. Most Americans underestimate how much food a small space can produce. A modest backyard can grow hundreds of pounds of food per year when planted strategically. Even a few raised beds can offset a significant portion of your grocery bill. And beyond the savings, there is security in knowing that at least part of your food supply is under your control. If you are serious about becoming more self-sufficient in 2026, do not wait for the perfect moment. Start this season. Pick one crop from this list and plant it. Learn from it. Expand next year. Small consistent action builds real independence. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Low Input Living for practical, no-nonsense strategies to grow more with less. Share this video with someone who wants to rely less on the system and more on their own backyard. And in the comments, tell me which of these 10 crops you are planting this year.